Okay, at the main pond again. And previously, I'd been thinking about figuring out some vegetation for around the banks and stuff, because it's pretty barren, especially whenever the water level gets lower like this. So I decided to get some aquatic plants. I went and found some local cattails. I know they're pretty aggressive, but I don't really mind that too much with this being a wildlife pond. But we've got these 3 here. I just dug them up, trimmed off the tops, and then brought them out here. Dug a little ways. You can see how the ground is still muddy right there. So you dig a little ways and it's pretty much wet soil. So I'm hoping they establish pretty good and then eventually fill in a little bit here and create some habitat for fish fry and stuff. Because right now we've got bait fish in here, like minnows and stuff, but there's nowhere for them to hide. So we're going to try to get some more structure in here and some more aquatic plants. But one of the things I did is, you can see these washouts. It's a pretty common theme at this pond, is a bunch of erosion. So they can get these planted along the washout, so get that extra water that runs into it, and then hopefully fill in a little bit, slow that down some. But anyways, got a couple more things to do out here, but hopefully the work gets a little bit easier whenever the fall weather gets here and the rains. Well, I made a little homemade deer filter out of some scrap wood. The hogs were eating everything on the ground, so I decided to make a little trough style, kind of elevate it. Hopefully maybe the hogs can't get up in there. Whenever I searched online, it said it was recommended to put it at 39 inches above the ground. I just kind of estimated, so we'll see. I've got a game camera back behind me, so we'll be able to see if the hogs are able to get under it and flip it over or not. But anyways, we're going to experiment with what we put in it this time. I've got a blend of walnuts and almonds in here. And so we're going to see what likes that. Excuse the wind, it's really windy out here today, but right here, not a native plant, but one thing I needed to consider with trees and stuff that we're planting is most of the native plants that I grew from seed, especially like the mast ones and the fruit ones, they're going to take several years to start producing anything. So I thought I'd get a peach, a grafted peach. This is a Ranger peach, and I expect it to probably bear relatively soon. It might bear a little bit next year, and then the years within 2 or 3 years from now, it should be bearing quite a bit of fruit, and we'll be able to eat some of that. And then what we don't eat, the wildlife could eat, and the flowers could be useful for pollinators, and that'll be here in the meantime while the other plants, the native ones, are maturing. And so we're going to go ahead and put one Ranger peach over here. We're still along this low area that periodically floods. Got the cottonwoods and stuff over there, and we're going to plant it like 5 feet off of the edge of this spot that seasonally floods, so it might get a little additional moisture. But yeah, we're gonna get this Ranger peach in the ground. We're gonna see how it does. It's still pretty warm right now, so the grasshopper pressure might be a little bit high, but we're gonna put it in the ground, observe it for a little bit, see if the grasshoppers wreck it, and then if they don't, we have another one ready to plant, and we'll probably plant it a little ways down over there. And we'll have these 2 peaches hopefully producing sooner while the other native plants start to mature. Okay, got the peach in the ground. On the drive here, sorry about the wind again, but on the drive here, we lost a bunch of leaves and stuff because it was in the bed of the pickup. But it should be all right. It's still got quite a bit of green on there. But yeah, hopefully that does pretty good. We got a decent site. We mulched it with some grass around there. The soil is pretty good. It's pretty loamy and dark, so it should do pretty well here. Okay, we are at this seasonal pond here. This floods in spring, and then over the summer it dries out and it stays dry until the next spring when we get all of our spring rains. But here we've just planted a bald cypress because they can tolerate standing water and seasonal flooding. So we got this in the ground here. It's a pretty big one compared to most of the other stuff we've got. It's about as tall as I am. But one thing, the wind just had it like laid over, like almost completely laid over. I'm not usually one to stake trees, but we had an extra post laying around and some strings, so we kind of rigged this together just to keep it somewhat vertical because we get a prevailing south wind almost all the time. So we're gonna leave that on there until it kind of hardens off a little bit, and then we'll end up taking it off. But yep, there we go. We got a bald cypress right here, almost in the middle of this seasonal pond. But yeah, this will be nice later whenever it gets big and it can kind of shade this area out.